Warren Buffett was worth $376 million at age 50. Today, at 94, he's sitting on over $140 billion, which means almost all of his wealth came after the age when most people think it's time to slow down. But here's the twist: he didn't chase the next Tesla, flip real estate, or gamble on crypto. The assets that made him a billionaire many times over are so plain and boring most financial advisors wouldn't even recommend them for fast growth. Yet, they're exactly what turned a small-town guy from Nebraska into the most successful investor in history. And this is why traditional retirement advice often fails, because the so-called safe path at 50 can keep you stuck, while people like Buffett keep getting richer every year. In this video, you'll discover the 10 surprising assets Buffett actually buys after 50, and why they're the complete opposite of what Wall Street wants you to believe. This is the channel that speaks to people over 40 without the TikTok fluff, and if you've ever been told it's too late to build wealth, this is your proof it might actually be easier after 50, if you know where to focus. The first critical asset. Understanding how compound interest really works, because Buffett's secret didn't start with buying stocks, it started with something much simpler. Warren Buffett's most valuable investment after turning 50 wasn't a stock, business, or piece of real estate, it was his own brain. Even at 88, he took the time to fully understand Apple's entire ecosystem, not just the stock price or earnings. He studied how teenagers used their iPhones, why people upgraded, and what made the App Store so addictive. That deep learning turned into one of Berkshire Hathaway's most successful investments ever, now worth over $150 billion. The surprising truth is that after 50, learning often gives a higher return on investment than most traditional assets. By this stage in life, you already have experience, you've lived through inflation, recessions, booms, and busts, and you know which trends last and which are just hype. You don't need more information, you need better filters, and experience gives you exactly that. Buffett spends 80% of his day reading, but not news headlines or stock tips. He studies annual reports, company histories, and industries most people ignore, learning slowly and letting his insights build over time like compound interest. A financial advisor in Detroit told me about his 52-year-old client, Paul, a mechanic who didn't panic when electric vehicles started replacing traditional cars. Instead, he spent 6 months learning about EV technology, which led him to invest early in charging infrastructure and battery suppliers, turning his knowledge into real financial gains. Strategic learning like this compresses decades of potential mistakes into just a few hours of understanding, making your thinking sharper at 50 so your money works harder at 70. Most retirement plans ignore this, but Buffett knows wisdom is the ultimate asset. If you're starting to see how different his approach really is, type "eye-opening" in the comments. Now for the second wealth builder, boring businesses with negative excitement. While most people your age are told to chase growth stocks and flashy tech startups, Buffett does the opposite. He invests in companies so dull they're practically invisible. Fruit of the Loom makes underwear, Shaw Industries makes carpet, and Benjamin Moore makes paint. None of these companies are likely to be on the front cover of business magazines, and that's exactly why Buffett likes them. He calls them businesses with negative excitement, low drama, low risk, and highly predictable results. They don't depend on the latest trend or viral moment, they depend on basic human habits that rarely change. Think about your own life. How many times have you bought underwear in the past 10 years? Paint for your house? Candy when you wanted a small treat? These purchases happen whether the economy is booming or in a recession, whether markets are up or down, because people need these products no matter what the Dow Jones is doing. A Japanese entrepreneur I met last year explained this perfectly. Americans always want excitement in their investments, but excitement and wealth rarely go together. His family had owned a small chain of laundromats for 3 generations, nothing flashy, but it generated steady cash flow, funded their real estate investments, and paid for all their children's education. Many people over 50 think they need a bold, high-risk move to catch up financially, but Buffett's approach proves the opposite. It's not about chasing speed, it's about building stability. Boring businesses bring in money every single month, regardless of market conditions. See's Candies is a perfect example. Buffett bought it in 1972 for $25 million, and it has since returned more than $2 billion. No tech revolutions, no global domination plans, just chocolate people buy because it tastes good and brings back childhood memories. So when you're looking at investments after 50, ask yourself, is this business truly valuable, or does it just feel exciting because it's new? Often, the most boring choice ends up being the most profitable one. You can't buy reputation on the stock market, and it won't appear in your investment account, but Warren Buffett believes it's worth more than all his investments combined. He says it takes 20 years to build and only 5 minutes to ruin, which is why after 50, he protects it even more than his money. Reputation grows faster than interest and opens doors money can't. When Buffett calls, top CEOs answer, and when he makes an offer, people trust it without long legal battles. This trust has saved him billions in time and costs. In 2009, during the financial crisis, he invested $5 billion in Goldman Sachs with just a phone call, no meetings, no documents, because they knew his word was solid. That deal earned him over $3 billion. Early in my career, I thought being aggressive and bending rules would help me move faster, but I met a Michigan contractor who proved otherwise. He had been in business 30 years without missing a deadline or going over budget without explanation, and that trust kept his phone ringing without expensive marketing. What most people don't realize is that you're building or damaging your reputation daily. Every promise you keep, every commitment you honor, and every time you admit when you don't know something instead of faking it, you're making deposits into what I call your trust bank account. After 50, your reputation becomes a golden key to deals, connections, and opportunities most people will never even hear about. It's the difference between having to prove you're trustworthy and people assuming it the moment you walk in. Sometimes, your reputation can open doors that money simply can't. Have you ever had that happen? Share it in the comments, because your story might help someone else see the value of this invisible asset. Now, the fourth strategic advantage, the power of strategic ignorance. Here's something surprising. Warren Buffett doesn't own a smartphone, has never sent an email, and checks stock prices only once a week. In a world obsessed with being plugged in 24/7, that might sound reckless, but it's actually a smart move. Buffett blocks out 99% of market noise so he can focus on the 1% that really matters. This isn't about being outdated, it's about keeping his mind clear from emotional distractions that hurt decision-making. Think about all the mental energy you waste on news alerts about stock market swings, trending tweets about the next hot stock, or breaking headlines that will be forgotten next week. Psychologists call this constant input decision fatigue. A financial advisor once told me about 2 clients in their 50s with the same investment amount. One checked his portfolio multiple times a day, read every market update, and stressed about every price drop, while the other checked quarterly, stayed focused on his business, and stuck to his long-term plan. Over 5 years, the second one outperformed the first by over 40%. Buffett's secret is creating mental space for deep thinking by shutting off the non-stop information flow. While others are busy reacting to yesterday's news, he's quietly preparing for the next decade. After 50, your biggest advantage isn't knowing more, it's knowing what to ignore. Every minute spent checking stock prices is a minute not spent thinking strategically, and every hour lost in market drama is an hour you could have used to learn something that truly shapes your financial future. Strategic ignorance isn't being lazy, it's a form of discipline, and it becomes more valuable as you get older because you've learned to tell the difference between what's urgent and what's truly important. The next key advantage is what I call the relationship multiplier, building bridges, not just networking. Most people are told to network constantly, but Warren Buffett doesn't just network, he builds long-term, high-trust relationships that last decades and create opportunities far beyond what casual networking ever could. His 60-year partnership with Charlie Munger, his friendship with Bill Gates that opened doors in technology and philanthropy, and his connection with Katharine Graham that led to one of his best investments are all examples. The difference is simple, networking is transactional, focused on what someone can do for you right now, while bridge building is transformational, multiplying ideas, creating lasting opportunities, and standing the test of time. Jim from Texas, who built a small manufacturing business, said his success came from just 5 strong relationships built over 20 years, not hundreds of LinkedIn contacts, but a handful of people who truly knew him, trusted him, and would recommend him without hesitation. When the 2008 recession hit and credit dried up, one strong relationship gave Jim a private loan that saved his business, worth more than any bank credit line. After 50, this matters more than ever. You don't need stacks of business cards, you need 5 trusted people who'd stand by you, challenge your thinking, open new perspectives, and recommend you when you're not in the room because they truly believe in you. Warren Buffett invests in people the same way he invests in companies, long-term, because the right relationships multiply opportunities you could never create alone. Are you just networking, or are you building bridges? Now for Buffett's 6th wisdom asset, turning mistakes into leverage. Most people hide failures, but Buffett puts his front and center. At Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting, he and Charlie Munger openly share their worst decisions: buying Dexter shoes, investing in airlines, holding on to Berkshire's failing textile business. These aren't just stories, they're valuable lessons. Missing out on Amazon taught him not to overlook innovative founders, which helped him see Apple's potential. His failures are like billion-dollar tuition fees, but he collects the lessons and reinvests them, studying mistakes more than successes because failures expose blind spots that wins can't. Paul from Michigan learned this too when a failed retail partnership cost him $200,000, but taught him lessons he still uses today. Instead of just moving on, he spent months studying what went wrong and realized he had ignored clear warning signs because he wanted the deal to succeed. That hard lesson made him far more disciplined about checking every detail before committing, and over the next 10 years, it saved him from 3 major investment disasters. After 50, your mistakes can either be regrets you try to hide or powerful lessons that make you unstoppable. Buffett isn't afraid of making mistakes, he's afraid of making the same mistake twice. That's why he openly shares his failures and what they taught him. The real value isn't in avoiding mistakes, but in building a library in your mind of the lessons they teach and using that knowledge to protect and grow your future. Your past failures aren't something to be ashamed of, they're the most expensive education you'll ever get, and it's time to make that investment pay off. This brings us to the 7th patience asset, building your patience inventory. Warren Buffett once went 5 years without making a major investment, and while that might sound lazy in a world obsessed with constant hustle and action, Buffett knows he isn't paid to stay busy, he's paid to be right. He's paid to be right, and being right often means building what I call a patience inventory. This isn't just about keeping cash ready, it's about emotional control, long-term vision, and the discipline to wait while everyone else rushes around. In 2008, when the financial crisis hit and most investors panicked and sold, Buffett had spent years building his patience inventory. He invested billions in companies like Goldman Sachs and General Electric at huge discounts because he was ready when the opportunity came. The truth is, your return on patience is often bigger than your return on action. Many people mistake movement for progress, especially in volatile markets, but Buffett knows patience is a competitive advantage that grows stronger over time. After 50, you have something younger investors lack: perspective. You've seen market ups and downs, you know fear doesn't last forever, and you're less likely to make emotional mistakes that destroy wealth. Most investors are sprinting, but Buffett is planting trees, and patience is the sunlight that helps them grow. Take Mike from Chicago, who had a strong consulting business by age 55. When COVID hit, his competitors rushed to change everything, but Mike relied on his patience inventory. He kept his client relationships, studied which changes were temporary versus permanent, and waited for the right moment to act. When the dust settled, many of Mike's panicked competitors were out of business, while he was ready and perfectly positioned for the recovery. This patience inventory becomes even more valuable as you get older because you have the experience to see patterns and the wisdom to know that most urgent opportunities aren't actually urgent at all. Next is the simplicity strategy, or what I call the arbitrage of being boring. While Wall Street keeps creating more and more complicated investment products, Buffett makes money by keeping things simple. His investment ideas are so straightforward they could fit on a napkin: Coca-Cola sells soda, American Express is a trusted credit card, Apple makes popular iPhones that keep customers coming back. This is simplicity arbitrage, making profits from things others ignore because they seem too plain or boring. The finance world likes to make investing complicated so they can charge higher fees, but Buffett shows the opposite works best. He doesn't try to know everything, just enough about what really matters. Every company he invests in passes a simple test: can he explain how it makes money to a child? If not, he passes. Complex investment products often hide simple ideas behind confusing words and extra fees. After 50, simplicity isn't just smart, it protects you. Every extra layer of complexity adds costs and risk. A Japanese businessman I met said his family built wealth over 4 generations by running simple businesses like rice distribution and manufacturing, nothing flashy, but easy to understand and reliable. Buffett's biggest investments are companies that sell everyday products people use all the time. When choosing investments after 50, ask yourself, am I picking this because it's truly good, or just because it sounds fancy? Ninth is the emotional asset, your stability premium. Warren Buffett's famous line, "Be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful," is more than a catchy phrase. It's a plan based on what I call emotional equity, the calm inside you that lets you buy when everyone else is selling. In 2008, most investors panicked, sold at the bottom, and missed the recovery. Buffett stayed calm and bought great companies at fire sale prices, and those decisions made him billions. This isn't about being fearless, it's about not being blown around by noise. After 50, emotional steadiness is one of your most valuable assets because panic is expensive, stress costs real money, and decisions made from fear are like a tax on your future. Early in my career I rode that emotional roller coaster, treating every dip like a crisis and every rally like proof I was right. I once watched a man in his early 60s calmly add to his positions in a brutal market sell-off. When I asked how he stayed so steady, he said, "I've seen this movie before, the ending is always the same if you don't panic in the middle." Buffett doesn't just manage money, he manages himself. No rash moves, no wild emotional swings, just calm, practiced discipline. The richest people aren't always the smartest, they're the ones who stay calm and don't react emotionally. They've learned to keep their feelings separate from their plans. Does that sound familiar? Have you noticed that staying calm during tough times has helped you in other parts of your life? That emotional control you've built over the years becomes a real financial strength after 50. The 10th important asset is building systems that last long after you're gone, what I call legacy leverage. Warren Buffett's biggest asset isn't just his money, but the systems, values, and relationships he's created to keep growing even after he's no longer here. He's pledged to give away 99% of his wealth, and Berkshire Hathaway's culture focuses on trust, integrity, and long-term thinking. His will includes a simple plan for his heirs that regular people can follow too. While most people just try to gather wealth, Buffett focuses on helping people, ideas, and principles keep growing. After 50, your best returns might come not from what you own, but from what you help others achieve. Think about mentorship, family values, and systems that run on their own. That's wealth measured in lasting impact, not just money. A business owner in Texas told me his proudest success wasn't his company but the 12 people he mentored who started their own businesses. That's human compound interest. Buffett won't only be remembered for his money but for what he made possible. Legacy isn't about being rich, it's about using what you have to create something meaningful that lasts beyond your life. If you found this video useful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to not miss our future uploads. See you in the next video.